With Hitler's rise to power, the fates of German women underwent a major change. They were sent to the kitchens in accordance with Nazi ideology, the main goal being to ensure the growth of the Aryan population. Nazi doctrine defined the role of women as follows: children, kitchen and church. This concept was borrowed from Germany's last emperor, Wilhelm II. Although the Nazis narrowed the role of women, such changes brought economic and political benefits to the state. The main task of the female sex became the continuation of the family. Women took care of household chores and served their spouses. Hitler openly expressed his dissatisfaction with women's participation in political life, claiming that the vast majority of issues discussed were not suitable for them. Despite this, the Führer's popularity remained at an all-time high. Even in their secondary role, women still played a key role in the birth of future soldiers. Their value in Nazi society was measured solely through the prism of motherhood. Magda Goebbels. In the Third Reich there was no official First Lady, so the wives of Hitler's closest associates naturally claimed this role. The first of these was Magda, wife of Germany's chief propagandist. She grew up in the family of a Jewish industrialist and received a quality education. Early married a man almost twice her age who already had 2 children from a previous marriage. Despite his financial prosperity, her husband did not seek to decorate their lives with cultural or entertainment hobbies, was not interested in art, did not have a special sense of humor, which soon bored her. In addition, he adopted his mate's 3 children, completely depriving her of time for her own interests. Soon the young wife found solace in a relationship with her peer, which the jealous husband found out about. But Magda was not so simple. She issued a divorce on favorable terms for herself, receiving monthly maintenance, a new apartment, a large lump sum and freedom to visit the estate. At one of the party congresses, Joseph Goebbels attracted her attention with his fiery speeches from the podium. She joined the party on September 1st, 1930, and did volunteer work, but was not particularly politically active. From the local branch, Magda moved to party headquarters in Berlin and briefly took a secretarial position with Hans Mainshausen, Goebbels's deputy, before being asked to be in charge of Goebbels's own personal papers. Their relationship began with a short trip with friends in Weimar in February 1931. By April, they were already making plans for a future together. By early fall, cracks began to show in Goebbels and Magda's relationship. Goebbels often experienced bouts of jealousy and anxiety because of Hitler's affection for Magda. To speed up the process, she suggested that their wedding day be brought closer, and soon the couple were married on December 19, 1931, with Hitler present at the ceremony. Otto Wagner claimed that the union was partly planned. Hitler, intending to remain single, saw Magda, the wife of a high-ranking Nazi official, as the future First Lady of the Third Reich. Magda had the ambition, social connections and manners typical of the upper classes, which may have attracted Goebbels. Hitler was especially warm to Goebbels' 6 children, often visiting their Berlin apartment, where he spent evenings talking with Goebbels and holding little Helga, born in 1932, on his lap. During the course of their marriage, Joseph Goebbels had numerous extramarital affairs. On August 15, 1938, Magda had a long conversation with Hitler discussing the situation. In order to avoid a scandal that could tie up one of his leading ministers, Hitler insisted on ending these romantic liaisons. After this, Goebbels and Magda's relationship stabilized for a time, reaching a temporary truce by the end of September. But new disputes soon arose, and Hitler again intervened, persuading them to stay together. In October 1938, Hitler organized a photo shoot with the newly reconciled couple. Magda died on May 1, 1945. Gerda Bormann. The daughter of the Reich Minister for Party Affairs, Gerda supported fascist ideals long before meeting her future husband. Tall and statuesque girl, the embodiment of the Aryan type, met Martin Bormann at the age of 19. At that time he had not yet occupied a prominent place, but impressed by his ambition. This impressed her father, despite his doubts about his daughter's marriage to a man with a criminal record. Gerda actively defended the idea of polygamy and did not pay attention to her husband's infidelity. According to the surviving correspondence, the couple not only had strong feelings, but also developed a relationship of trust. Her husband honestly told her about his adventures, and she provided him with advice. Gerda became the mother of 10 children. In the winter of 1944, realizing the unfavorable prospects for the German army, Gerda advocated the practice of polygamy, applicable only to men. However, her lofty ideals did not prevent her from leaving the country on the eve of the Third Reich's decline. This did not save her, as she was seriously ill and Italy refused to perform surgery. Gerda Bormann died in 1946, leaving her children in the care of a priest. Ilse Hess. Ilse, wife of Deputy Führer Rudolf Hess, was born into a wealthy family of a doctor and received an excellent education. As a student, she became fascinated by the ideas of social democracy, studying at the same university as Rudolf. After joining the party, Ilse became his personal assistant. She had a deep respect for the Führer and married Hess at his suggestion. Hitler not only attended their wedding ceremony as a witness, but also became godfather to their only son. Ilse led a busy life, engaged in work. The house was full of servants. Even her secretary had 2 assistants. This ideal Frau often appeared in the press with her son and accompanied her husband on business trips. In 1947, Ilse, like many other wives of Nazi leaders, was sent to a camp. But a year later she was released and was able to afford to open a boarding house. While her husband was serving a life sentence, she published their correspondence. Ilse remained loyal to Hitler and his beliefs until her last days. Ilse Hess passed away on September 7, 1995. Inga Ley. Inga Ley, wife of Hitler's close associate Robert Ley, grew up in an artistic environment. Her father was a recognized opera singer. Trained as a vocalist, Inga also tried out for the stage, where she was noticed by Robert. Their union was traditionally approved by Hitler, who to the end of his life admired the beauty and magnificent voice of his friend's wife. The couple led a bohemian lifestyle and actively participated in the artistic milieu. However, Inga suffered from addiction to morphine, to which she turned because of incessant pain after her 3rd childbirth. Treatment failed, and in 1942 she passed away without ever learning that her husband had ambitious plans for world domination, which were not destined to materialize. Margaret Himmler. Margaret embodied the ideal woman according to the Nazis, but her union with Heinrich Himmler was not approved by his relatives. The reason for this was the 7-year age difference and her previous marriage. Coming from a wealthy family, she was educated at a girls' school and worked as a nurse, but her unaristocratic background made itself felt in her manners and appearance. The family raised a native daughter and an adopted boy. Heinrich Himmler, who was called the chief executioner, held the highest positions and at home dictated terms to his wife. According to ideal Aryan traditions, the woman was supposed to remain in the shadow of the man. Nevertheless, Margaret was a commanding and loud personality, which Himmler preferred to avoid while lingering in the service. Margaret organized evening meetings for the wives of high-ranking SS officers, but these were attended more out of a sense of duty than the call of friendship. She ran Red Cross hospitals and strongly supported the anti-Semitic beliefs of her husband, who had several children and a mistress. After the war, Margaret was arrested and imprisoned until 1946. Even after her release, she remained true to her former views until the end of her days.